December 26, 1944. The Belgian town of Bastogne has been under siege for 5 days. Just south of town, lead elements of the 4th Armored Division CCR prepare to make one last attack against the German line and finally relieve the besieged Bastogne.
I led the attack that day, and Abrams joins me on position. Well, he said, I'm going to run RC Company, Bulge, and pass through you straight ahead and go to Assenois and try to link up with the 101st Airborne to make that final breakthrough into Bastogne.
Lieutenant Charles Bulge leads 8 Sherman tanks into the heavily defended town of Assenois.
Bulge led the attack through here, and he had an armored infantry company with him, and they were busy fighting Germans who were resisting, trying to mine the road, and the artillery had knocked out several half-tracks, and mortar shells had knocked out several vehicles.
The German fire is intense, but Bulge and his men push right through it and advance down the final stretch of road leading to Bastogne.
It was quite a fight, really. I could hear it all shooting up ahead of me because Abrams left me in position there at Clochemont Hill.
A half-track in the column is destroyed by a German mine. Bulge pushes on with 2 other tanks and reaches the outskirts of Bastogne. There he encounters the final line of German defense, and Bulge and his wingman fire 3 rounds into it. The last obstacle on the road to Bastogne is eliminated. Moments later, men of the 101st Airborne emerge from the trees.
Bulge saw what looked like American uniform and hollered, "This is 4th Armored, come on out." And hesitatingly, the Americans commenced to then showing themselves.
The siege of Bastogne is broken. But for the 4th Armored Division, the cost of relieving the town has been steep. In just 10 days of combat, over 1,000 men are killed or wounded. And they lose 28 tanks. But their efforts mark the turning point in the Battle of the Bulge. The weather clears, and for the next 21 days, American tanks, now supported by airstrikes, force the Germans out of the Ardennes.
Once the weather cleared up and the sun was shining, they were able to deploy the artillery and air force and stabbed us in the back.
The fighter bombers were dangerous for us. On one tank, believe it or not, we counted 500 hits from a machine gun. We couldn't compete with that. And shortly after Christmas, we barely had any tanks left. And I thought, for God's sake, they have a lot of equipment than us with our tiny amount of tanks. At the end of 44, beginning of 45, we had no further supply. We had no further equipment to fight with.
The Battle of the Bulge, the largest battle on the Western Front, ends on January 12, 1945. The casualties on both sides are enormous. More than 90,000 German soldiers are killed, wounded, or captured. Almost 20,000 Americans die, and 50,000 are wounded. It's their bloodiest battle of the war. The Americans lose over 320 tanks, but the Germans' final gamble has cost more. They lose more than 500 irreplaceable panzers and will never launch another offensive.
Sitting here now, looking back, unbelievable. I can't believe I was there. I can't believe I did what I did. It's a very strange feeling. It was the lead element of Patton's army. It was the force that was successful in breaking the siege of Bastogne. I firmly believe that was the turning point of the Battle of the Bulge, and the Battle of the Bulge was the turning point of the war in Europe.